You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello and welcome to episode 286 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Shawn as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Welcome back, gang. Happy to have you here. It's Shawn as always, and with me this week is Brother Robin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Excellent.
Happy Easter to you.
Yes, happy Easter to you as well. Of course, this is coming out a few days after Easter, but as we're recording, it's the Sunday.
It is the Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
And you know what that means?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, listeners. Normally we would do some kind of deep philosophical dive into trials and tribulations and troubles and all that kind of stuff.
But you've heard enough of that.
So not this
Especially
week.
with us, yeah.
Not this week.
Not this week.
Definitely not.
We're gonna lighten it up a little bit this week.
We're going to harken back to the days of the we're going to harken back to the days of the Rusted Robot podcast, as well as
The Robin Road Report and the Space Jam podcast.
That's right. Exactly. We used to host our own pop culture podcasts. This week, we're going to talk about some random pop culture because that's fun.
It is fun. It's fun. It's lighthearted. People like to hear about pop culture things.
And that's kind of our jam.
That is our jam.
That's why you called it the Space Jam.
That's right.
And I called it the Rusted Robot because why not?
You like robots.
That's exactly true. Yes. So I thought we would start off by talking about early pop culture memories.
Early pop culture memories.
And since I've recently started collecting Hot Wheels for some odd reason, I was thinking about it, and some of my first memories of playing with dinky cars, as we call them, was a Batmobile with a trailer and a Batboat.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Very, very early memories.
I don't have memories like the Batboat and the trailers.
No, I lost it along the way in my travels. I looked it up. I think it was from Corgi in the 60s.
Oh.
How I ended up with it, I couldn't tell you. But I'm thinking that, therefore, Batman was my first superhero.
Makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah, I do remember watching Batman in theaters.
You do remember that.
Yeah, vaguely.
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
Because that was in 89 and you were born in 86.
Yes.
I can't imagine you being at the theater for that.
I don't know if it was the first one or it was the second one, Batman Returns, but I do remember I was there.
For one of the movies.
For one of them.
And we always got all the Batman movies on VHS for our combined Christmas presents as kids.
We did, yeah.
Me, you, and Brother Curtis.
That's right.
We loved all those movies as kids. And
Yeah.
we would wear out the VHS tapes. A few years ago, I watched Batman 89 with my brother. No, I watched Batman 89 with my son, Bishop.
Yep.
A horrible movie. We could hardly get through it.
Really?
Yeah. Have you revisited it recently?
Recently, I think I have. Well, maybe within the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a good movie for what it was.
The car is cool. The Batmobile,
The
amazing.
Batmobile is amazing.
It's my favorite one.
I mean, Michael Keaton is fantastic.
He's great.
Jack Nicholson is Joker. You can't go wrong.
But it's so hard to watch now. And that's a very controversial opinion. I've posted it on Facebook and talked to people about it, and they're like, sacrilege. And I feel bad about it, but ugh.
See, I didn't like Batman Returns.
Is that the second one?
That's the second one with Penguin and Catwoman, and I thought that one was weaker out of the two.
Uh-huh.
But even going back and watching it again, I don't like. They're good, but it leaves you wanting more.
That is true.
Like,
yes. And then for the longest time, when Christopher Nolan did his Bat trilogy, I was adamant that Batman Begins was the better of the films.
No.
And I watched it again not too long ago. And yeah, I know it's the second one
Yeah.
with Heath Ledger as the Joker. That's the
Dark
best
Knight.
one. The Dark Knight
Hands down.
Rises is the third one.
Yeah.
That's awful.
It is.
Yeah.
Had potential, but it was... there was a myriad of problems with that one.
Right. Did you like the Edward Cullen Batman from last year?
The Batman?
The Batman.
I did like The Batman.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought it was really well done. I didn't have a lot of faith going into it with Robert Pattinson.
That's his name.
Yes. That was his Twilight character, Edward Cullen. But
Yes.
I get what you're going with. Anyways, it was a little long but I mean, we're kind of used to superhero movies being 3 hours now.
That's true.
It was really dark. Like,
Yeah.
it was hard to watch.
It was hard to
really,
see.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my biggest problem with it. What I loved about it is it gave me a lot of vibes from the Batman Arkham Asylum video game series. And I love those video games very much. Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, etc., etc. So I found it had a lot of that with it. I haven't watched it since I saw it the first time, so I have to do a rewatch of it.
Yeah, I only saw it once in the theaters.
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
But, yeah, I liked it. And now we're just anticipating and waiting on
What's next?
the Penguin TV series for HBO Max
Oh, I
with Colin Farrell reprising his role.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Tell me more.
I don't have a lot of details.
That's all you know.
He didn't have a lot of time in the movie. Colin Farrell as Penguin. There was a little Oswald Cobblepot, but he was in it.
Was that in the most recent, The Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're taking that character and they're giving him his own series.
Huh.
Is what I've heard. I don't know when it's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Batman, the animated series from the 90s?
Oh.
Wasn't that amazing?
That was amazing.
Best cartoon.
At the time when I was a kid, though, I think I found it a little dry and a little boring.
I could see that because it is more adult-oriented.
Yeah. I still watched it, but it wasn't like... I didn't have an obsession with it like I did Ninja Turtles
Right.
and
Yes.
Power Rangers and et cetera, et cetera. But Batman, the animated series, of course, was the introduction to Harley Quinn.
Yes.
And we had Mark Hamill voicing the Joker,
We
Kevin
did.
Conroy voicing Batman.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Phenomenal series, though.
Yes. And how about Batman 66, the original series?
Well, you can't...
Cheesy.
it's very cheesy.
Fun.
Silly.
Silly.
It's very silly. I watched it like crazy, too.
I think we all did. Same
think
bat
we all-
time, same bat channel.
That's right. A little bit of shenanigans, that one, but hey.
Yeah. And of course, now I've been avidly collecting Batmobile Hot Wheels.
Yes.
Apparently, I've always had a bunch of them. Like I had 3 or 4.
I got a couple of them.
You
yeah.
got a couple of them as well. But since I started collecting back in February, I've been seeking them out everywhere. And,
Yeah, and you've-
I've got quite a few now.
Yeah, you do.
For some reason. It's a mystery, but...
It is a mystery.
Yeah.
The Hot Wheels Batmobile mystery.
Any other Batmobile or Batman memories?
Oh, well, I mean...
Batcab.
The Batcab.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about the Batcab.
And the hubcaps, I mean.
And the hubcaps you made. I think we've touched on it before, but let's get into this. So, my first vehicle, which was Brother Curtis's original van, it was a 94 or 96 Plymouth Voyager.
I think it was a 91.
Could have been, or maybe 93. I
I'm
don't know,
not-
92.
It was early 90s.
It was early 90s. It was gray, and your typical classic minivan from back in the day.
Oh, yes.
Which was my first vehicle. And you had painted hubcaps.
Because I had a 92 Dodge Caravan, and I had poor impulse control, and I painted it up all kinds of weird colors, but I took the center of the hubcap, painted it yellow, I had some black stickers, made little bat symbols on it, put those on there, and then when I got rid of that van, I kept the hubcap centers and gave them to you for your van.
Yes.
I still got one left somewhere.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I don't know where mine are. I think I may have, I don't know,
Tossed them.
tossed them. I tossed a lot of things. But nonetheless, when I got that vehicle, got that van, and I slapped those hubcaps on it, that was the start of the Bat van and the Batcab and me becoming Batman, if you will, because my name is Robin, as you know.
I do know.
When I was at this job that I was working at the time, old call center, had coworkers always calling me Batman
Ah.
because my name is Robin.
Right.
I mean, not the worst. I've been called worse, so I'll take it. I'll accept it. Now, here's what's going to shock a lot of people. I never really liked Batman that much.
Really?
As a superhero, as a character himself, I was never a giant fan.
Because that's what you're known by.
Yeah.
And everybody sends you memes on your Facebook.
Yeah, and coffee tables and
all the stuff.
All the Batman things. So, initially growing up, while I watched the Batman and all the Batman stuff, he wasn't my favorite.
Who was your favorite?
Spider-Man was my favorite.
Yes.
Spider-Man was my comfort character. The one character that's never enjoyed a day of comfort in his life.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah. So, once I kind of accepted the Batman nickname and the Batman thing, and because Batman merchandise was so much easier to find
Oh, yeah.
than anything else, I had bought Batman seat covers.
You did.
Batman floor mats.
I remember.
A Batman steering wheel cover.
Also true.
Batman stickers.
Yes.
Did the whole thing, did up the whole van, had the van decked out in a fully Batman-esque vibe. It was awesome.
Yes.
And then at the time, I had stopped, because I was a bit of a drinker, and then I quit drinking before I went back to it, but that's not the point. The point is, I quit drinking for like 9 months or something, and instead I was the DD for all my friends going out to the bar.
Ah.
So then I would pick them up at the end of the night and drive them home, and they'd give me a few dollars for gas.
Nice.
And then I had an idea, and the idea was, why don't I just do this on the weekends? And I pick up people and drive them home.
And you did.
And I did, and we called it the Batcab. It wasn't an official license or anything, but I would go to pick up my customers.
Yeah.
And I would play the 1966 Batman theme.
Very nice.
No.
And I'm sure that never got old.
It never got old, not once. I would drop them off and I would play it again. And, I got sick of it after a while, not going to lie, but it was always fun. There had a little disco ball in the van that lit up, and everybody loved it. It was great adventures. And I did that for quite a few years. And then I got into... No, I didn't get into an accident. That van just died because it was so old. It finally died, and then I had to transfer all my Bat memorabilia to the next vehicle, into the next vehicle, into the next vehicle, and now I have nothing.
Oh, it's all gone.
It's all gone.
So no more Batcab.
No more Batcab.
A vague memory that just popped up. Do you remember, now you might be too young for this, your father had an old van, not a minivan, but one of those classic 70s vans.
Oh, yes.
And he painted a Batman symbol on the hood. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, he did.
I don't remember that in particular.
Yeah, that was a thing he did as well.
That sounds like something he would do.
It does.
I'm not shocked to learn of this revelation.
Right?
My dad did some very odd, strange things.
Oh, yeah, that's an understatement.
He converted an old school bus into an apartment that didn't drive. It didn't run. But it sat in Mary's driveway. Beside the garage, yes. He had refurnished the whole thing into like this little apartment. Had a bedroom and a kitchen and stuff.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how long that lasted.
Probably not very.
Very not long. But I remember hanging out in there once. I remember him trying to build a trike.
Yes, because we had an old Volkswagen Beetle, and he cut the front off of it and tried to attach it to the front of a bike. And
yeah.
It never ran either.
No. I just remember watching him weld and seeing sparks fly everywhere, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I was like 5, 6.
Sounds about right.
There was the Bat boat.
Yes, it was an old fiberglass red motorboat that kind of had fins on the back.
Yeah, and it was called the Bat boat.
Right.
Yeah, so you could say Batman has kind of been...
It runs in the family.
It runs in the family a little bit.
There you go. Well, before we transition over to talking about some recent trailers and pop culture news, why don't we play a promo for another podcast right here on...
the ESO Network.
Drew Leiter here, inviting you to join Cletus Jacobs and I as we journey into a new era of the DC Universe, Dawn of the DC. Join us each week as we review comics, television, and movies. There might even be a surprise guest or two along the way. Thanks for your continued support, and we look forward to talking more DC with you. The Earth Station DCU podcast comes out weekly and is part of the ESO Network.
And wasn't that a great trailer?
Fantastic.
I thought so.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And you know what else you're looking forward to? All these TV shows and movies that are coming out.
Right? Wow.
Just before we started recording, you showed me all the trailers.
Yeah.
Because when I had my my pop culture podcast, I would follow everything. And since I don't have that show anymore, I've kind of...
Fell off the wagon.
Yeah, I see the trailers come out, but I don't always watch them. But you told me that Nick Fury has his own TV show coming to Disney Plus, Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion,
Coming
yes.
in June, I think it was.
June. Between June and August, there seems to be a lot of things that we're going to be watching. So let's do a little quick rundown here. We got Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle
Yes, that comes out in August.
in August. We've got Spider-Man Into the
the
Spider-Verse
number
2.
2.
Looking forward to that one. I think that'll be great.
That looks like it's very emotional. It's got more
Yeah.
emotional beats than the first one.
Yes, for sure. We've got Indiana Jones 5.
The Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny.
We just watched the trailer. It just came out this week, and that actually made it look good.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking it was going to look too good from the other trailers, but this...
This looks decent, and it looks like it'll be...
a good farewell to the character.
well, that as well, but leaps and bounds better than whatever the Crystal Skull one was. That was terrible.
That was not good.
No.
No.
It was awful.
We don't talk about that one.
We don't. And what else did we have?
Oh, we stepped in a Star Wars puddle and got Ahsoka.
Oh, yes, Star Wars as well. Ahsoka. Another Disney Plus series. Have you been enjoying The Mandalorian Season 3?
I have been enjoying Mandalorian Season 3, although there has been some weirdness in it with
A
these
little
side
bit.
characters and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'll just watch it anyway.
Yeah, and it was last week's this past week's episode. 3 big cameos.
Yes, we had, spoiler alert. Should we even say it?
Yeah, this by the time this comes out,
Yeah.
the newest episode will be out.
Okay, so
You've had a week.
we had Christopher Lloyd in it.
Yep.
We had Jack Black.
Yep.
And we had Lizzo.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
Crazy.
I didn't know it was Lizzo until you told me.
I didn't know it was her at first, and then I was like, "Who is that?" And then
Because she had a presence about her.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't figure it out.
yeah, it took me a second, and then I realized who it was, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Have you been watching Season 3 of Star Trek Picard?
Well, I would be, but I haven't even watched Season 1 or Season 2 yet.
Uh,
And not that I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But I just haven't invested the time to Picard yet.
just watched episode 8. There's 2 more to go. It's so fantastic. Everybody's raving about how good this series is. I don't know how they're going to wrap it up in 2 episodes, but there you go. And then they're talking about trying to get Star Trek Legacy going as another live action series, which would have like some of the same characters, just the next generation.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Yes, and then there was an announcement within the last couple of weeks that in 2024 they're starting the Star Trek Starfleet Academy TV show.
Ah, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What happened to the third movie that they were supposed to do? They had the Star Trek and then Star Trek
Into Darkness.
Into Darkness.
And then Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah.
And then there was supposed to be a 4th one.
Right.
And it's been announced and
Wasn't Quentin
unannounced.
Tarantino
Quentin
supposed-
Tarantino had an idea. There were 7 or 8 different directors attached to different ones. Now nobody knows what's going on. And it's been forever, and they're just not able to get things off the ground.
That's kind of sad, because I really like the cast
Yeah, they did a
of
good job.
those ones. They did a really good job with the casting.
Yes. Speaking of space shows, have you watched The Ark?
The Ark. No. I've seen it on the
Apps?
on the apps, but I haven't given it a start yet.
Oh, okay. Well, it's very tropish, like typical space show. What happens is they're on a generational Ark ship. They're leaving the Earth because it's been depleted of life, giving
Resources
whatever.
decimated.
So they're on this Ark, and they're in sleeper ships, and they're supposed to go to Proxima B, which is light years and light years away. However, there's an accident, and all the ranking officers are killed, so it's just the younger junior officers, and they have to figure out the ship, and each episode has trouble, and they have to fix things, and they almost all die, and there's bad guys, and there's a lot involved. And
Sounds interesting.
I'm enjoying the heck out of it,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't bring anything new to the table.
Right.
It's comforting.
Yeah.
Oh, and I finished season 1 of the rebooted, relaunched Quantum Leap. That was really good, too.
Right on.
It had some good episodes and some weird episodes, but overall, I enjoyed it. Oh, I've been watching Future Man on Disney Plus.
Oh, Future Man.
It's a show that came out, I think, in 2017.
Okay.
And it's a guy who plays a video game and he beats it just like in The Last Starfighter, and these people from the future come and try to recruit him to help save their timeline, and he's a bumbling fool. So
You bumbling fool.
kind of like that.
I heard some rumblings about a potential sequel or reboot of The Last Starfighter.
They've been talking about that for years.
I imagine they have.
Apparently they finally got the rights issues worked out, but whether it's ever going to get off the ground, nobody knows.
I remember we watched that a few years back. You forced me to watch it with you.
And did you enjoy it?
I didn't mind it. It was all right.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites from the
Yeah.
80s. Yeah. Did you watch The Last Kingdom on Netflix?
The Last Kingdom. I think I started it,
Okay.
but
Well, that
was as far as I got.
That was about Uhtred and getting the England together as a country, and
Yeah.
all in the 900s or whatever.
Right.
Well, they finished season 5 there last year, but on April 14th of this year, the movie that wraps it all up is coming out on Netflix.
Right on.
Yeah, I just read about that this morning.
I started season 2 of Vikings Valhalla.
Oh, that was good. I watched.
I've only got an episode or 2 in though so far, so I still gotta. I haven't really been watching a whole heck of a lot as of late. I'm still watching The Flash, of course,
yes.
because there's that. The Curse of Oak Island,
Of course.
because there's top pocket finds and Bobby Dazzlers everywhere.
Naturally. Yeah, I've actually been impressed by how I've been able to keep up with the things that I actually enjoy and don't get far behind.
Yeah.
Like when I first discovered the Lucifer show years and years ago, I watched the first 3 seasons right away, and it's probably been 4 years since I've watched it, and I keep meaning to get back to it, and I just never do.
Yeah, Lucifer. I haven't did the full watch through of that, but from what I have watched of it, I like it.
Yeah,
I
it was
like
very
a lot. It's very good.
enjoyable. Yeah, but it's just, yeah. And then last year I bought the Dukes of Hazzard box set. I watched the first 3 episodes and haven't touched it since. That's been more than a year. So it's just...
Come on, Flash, let's go get them Duke boys.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. So pop culture is hard to keep up with if you're not on top of things.
It's true. It can be very overwhelming, and then you get behind, and then you gotta binge everything. Yeah, it's a lot.
So what are you most looking forward to this summer?
I'm not sure yet. I know we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out in May.
Yes, that's
Looking
true.
forward to that. That'll be the end of the Guardians story.
Did you ever play the video game Five Nights at Freddy's? Because there's a movie coming out in October.
I never played that. My daughter was into that.
Okay.
That was her thing.
Okay. Yeah, I've never played it either.
I think I played around with it once when she was showing me it, but that's not my...
No. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 comes out in June.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's
Strange New
exciting.
Worlds,
That was a
very
great series last year.
They're just
Pumping them out.
pumping them out now
That's
with
it.
everything Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yeah. It's a great time to be a geek.
And here's something I got to touch on because actually, and you may know this because you went and seen John Wick 4 this week.
Oh, yes, I did. Because you and I and Brother Curtis were all supposed to go.
We were.
On Tuesday. And,
I don't know what the hell happened.
Brother Curtis didn't have a babysitter.
Right.
You were tired from work.
I was exhausted.
And I was just sitting around. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I texted Amanda, and she couldn't go either because we just spent the day yard sailing or thrifting at the stores or whatever. So she was tired. And I was like, well, I want to go see it. And you guys had said, well, let's go next Tuesday. But I'll be in Timmins.
Right.
So I was like, screw it. I'm going to go by myself.
Yeah,
So I did.
With that. And,
I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, but it was fine.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah, so I did.
And what would you give it out of 10? What was your score?
It was fine. I'd give it a 7.5.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You can't beat the first one. The first one is
That
fantastic.
first one is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But a buddy of mine had went and seen it yesterday too, and he told me, stick around. There's after credits.
There was after credits.
See? Now, here's the thing. Marvel has now conditioned us
To stay.
sitting through these friggin' credits to get the post-credit. I'm okay when Marvel does it, but does every franchise and every movie have to do that now? Like, why is that the thing? Why?
Because a lot of people put time and effort into it, so they want you to read all the names.
I mean, I get that. I usually give whoever's on the screen a nice shout out, like thanks Stunt Rigger 4 John McClane or whatever, and I'm like, hey, you did a good job out there today, and
good job, Best Boy Grip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
it's usually entertaining while you're waiting for the credit.
Yeah, it's something to do.
But like, yeah, I don't think all of these franchises need to do it.
You might be right.
That's just my 2 cents.
Well, I appreciate that. So, anything else we should cover before we wrap up the show? Lots of trailers, lots of good stuff coming.
There will be plenty to gorge on in the upcoming months. Lots of series to watch, lots of movies to watch.
But get out and enjoy some sunshine too.
Of course.
It's not all about consuming media.
That's right.
Exactly.
That is right. Spring is kind of springing. It's supposed to be a nice warm week.
Yes.
And hopefully we can get out there and enjoy the sun.
Exactly. So that's about it for this week.
That's about it. That's about all.
Well, thanks for coming back and being a nostalgic pop culture host with me.
Oh, no problem.
We used to do that lots back in the day.
We did.
So listeners, hope you enjoyed this diversion from your normal depressing SoulForge episodes. This has been a pop culture roundup with Robin and Shawn. So hope you take care of yourselves and each other. Leave a 5-star review in the podcatcher of your choice. Follow me on YouTube under my name, Shawn Vanderloo. Rusted Robot Toys on Etsy. And until next time, remember, the more you research, the crazier you sound to ignorant people. Thank you for listening to another episode of the SoulForge Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The SoulForge Podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it. Fury. Since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse. How do you think I came back?
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
This is personal.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged on this planet. Do you feel responsible?
Where are the Avengers? This war is one I have to fight. Alone. You're the most wanted man on the planet.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
The great Nick Fury. One last fight.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.